Hi, welcome to a virtual tour around Cal State Fullerton. My name is Alexis Adeguin, one of your tour guides for today, and I'm a fourth-year student here majoring in cinema and television arts. And a fun fact about me is that I'm a current resident advisor as well. But I'm gonna pass it over to my co-host, Nathan, to introduce himself.
Awesome. Thank you, Alexis. Hi, everyone. My name is Nathan. I'm a current third year student here at Cal State Fullerton. I'm a political science major. I also do have a minor in communication studies and a second minor in women and gender studies. Fun fact about me is I currently work at a program at a diversity initiatives and resource centers as a programming activities lead here at Cal State Fullerton. So with that being said, folks, thank you all for joining us today on our virtual tour. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. So here we're currently at Langsdorff Hall Fountain. So here is just a great opportunity for students to take graduation pictures once we get to that moment in time. Essentially, on the left-hand side, we do have a history of the university. For folks who didn't actually know, we were actually founded in 1957 as Orange County State College. Essentially, we did go through a few different name changes, and now we are officially California State University Fullerton. Additionally, too, we are actually located next to the 57 freeway, so it's a pretty easy way to remember our founding year. On the left-hand side of the plaque, we also do have a history of our CSUF presidents. On the right-hand side is just an overview of our mascot history. So before we became the Titans, we were actually in between becoming the Aardvarks or the Rebels. After we had our first elephant race here on campus, the winning elephant, his name was Tuffy. He gained a lot of popularity with the student body, and we just adopted that to be our official mascot. And that's where we are today as Cal State Fullerton Titans. So moving forward, folks, we're going to head over now to our CSUF Promenade. The Promenade was established in May of 2019, so it is fairly new. Again, create another photo op opportunity for graduation pictures with our archway, our waterfall, and this entire pathway all the way down to our Pollock Library has patio furniture outside for students to use, whether it's just to hang out, enjoy the sun, take a quick break, study with your friends, have lunch, things like that. Another cool thing on our walkway is actually have music playing throughout the entire walkway from our Titan radio station. So Titan radio is an opportunity for students to get involved on campus. They can have like their own DJ show and things like that as well. And it is part of our college communications, which we'll touch upon later on in this tour. So moving forward, folks, we're going to go over our first academic college here. We do have 8 in total. So the first one here is going to be McCarthy Hall. Within this building, we do have our College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics. So we do have majors like mathematics, biology, chemistry, biochemistry, physics, and geology. We have a math tutoring center in here for folks who need additional assistance in any tutoring classes like business calculus, college algebra, and things like that. We also do have behind this building, Dan Black Hall, which is where we have all of our labs for students who are currently taking like chemistry labs, biology labs, and things like that. Within our College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, we do have a Student Success Center as well. So actually every single academic college has a Student Success Center focusing on supporting their students and their academics. This consists of like career specialists, your graduate specialists, and your major advisors and things like that. So definitely reach out to them because they are there to support you. Lastly, we do also have Tuffy's Basic Needs in McCarthy Hall. Tuffy's Basic Needs is there to focus and ensure students are meeting their basic needs, and if they do have any like housing insecurities, food insecurities, any financial insecurities as well, they can definitely meet with our department, Tuffy's Basic Needs there, get any assistance that they might need as well. So moving forward, we're going to actually transition over to our quad area. And I'll go ahead and pass it over to Alexis to talk about this.
All right, awesome. So do excuse the trucks. We did take these photos right before the pandemic, so we were not able to do a reshoot. However, I can vouch that the quad looks a lot better now. It has a lot more greenery. But typically our quad is like the center of campus. We host really big events here. Specifically, we have our Discover Fest, which happens every second week of every semester. And it's like our club rush. We have all 350 plus clubs and organizations come out to table for our students. And this includes fraternity and sororities, it includes a whole plethora of honors clubs as well too. So if you're interested in joining an honorary type of club, that's something that you can do as well. But also just a bunch of clubs in regards to your interests too. Like I'm a part of the music industry club since I have a very big interest in music. But I know there's like a few cooking clubs and a whole bunch of other random ones that you can join. And again, even though we're virtual right now, we do have access to all these clubs on our Titan link. So do check that out if you want to get connected to all these clubs. They post their meeting times on there and all the other information that you should know about those clubs. So we're still trying to stay connected even through the pandemic. Moving forward, though, we're going to head into our library. And in our library, this is going to be the specific south side. And when you walk in, you'll see this information desk right here in the center. So if you have any questions, you can always stop by there and talk to one of the student assistants. But right here on the front side, we do have our Center for Scholars. So if you're interested in applying for this specific program, they do offer a couple of scholarships throughout the year. And then also, once you do become a part of this program, you do have access to this room that you're looking at. And again, as you can see, it has a study room in the very back. It has spaces for you to do work. It has computer lab space. And of course, a really good amenity that it offers offers is free printing. So just so y'all know, printing does cost 10 cents per page on campus. And then if you want to print in color, it's 50 cents per page. So as you can see, this is like a really nice amenity to have. However, there are many ways for you to get free printing. You just kind of have to hunt for them. Sometimes having a job on campus is like the way to get free printing. But if you do have this scholars program under your belt, that's something really cool to definitely take advantage of. On the other side, though, we do have our Center for Honors Students. So if you are a part of the honors program, you can take advantage of all their resources. They have a mini library in there, a mini computer lab, a bunch of study spaces, and then, of course, all the advisors in the honors program, because throughout the course of the program, you will have to take a couple of honors courses and then also do a senior project, which involves some research. So they're there to basically provide you with all the support that you need. And you do have to apply for this program, which you can apply when coming into the university or much later. And you do oftentimes do get a scholarship attached to it. But again, like the scholars program, you do get access to free printing. And one of the biggest amenities is priority registration. So priority registration helps because then you get priority to register for all your classes compared to all the other students who are registering at a much later date than you. So that's definitely an amenity for you to take advantage of if you have any interest in applying to either one of those programs and initiatives. Then moving forward in our library, we're going to head over to the center. And if you look to your far left, you'll see these glass doors. And this is actually going to be the entrance to our DIRC centers, which is our diversity initiatives and resource centers. And essentially what they provide is five safe spaces on our campus for students. So we have the African American Resource Center, the Asian Pacific American Resource Center, the Titan Dreamers Resource Center, the LGBTQ Resource Center, and finally our Latinx Community Resource Center. So again, these are safe spaces that you can utilize as a student. You don't have to be a part of these identity groups. You can always stop by to do some allyship training. Sometimes they have movie nights, karaoke nights. They're also just spaces that are reserved for students only. So again, because it has that label of a safe space, other faculty and staff members are not permitted to go into the spaces. It's just for the students and the faculty that work in DIRC. Oftentimes they will have workshops for faculty, but for the most part, it is reserved for just students. So it's a really great space. Definitely check it out. It's really good to spruce up all your social justice skills. On the other end of this library, though, we do have the Titan card desk, which is where you would pick up your student ID card. And again, this would be really important to have if you're living on campus, since it's your way into your dorm or into your apartment or even into the gastronome, which is our dining hall. So definitely get your Titan card if you are on campus, because it's a really important necessity for you. Moving forward to the middle, though, we do have our first Starbucks here. And this is probably the most impacted Starbucks on our campus because it's located right in our library. And since most students utilize the space to study and hang out with friends, this one is naturally going to be the most popular. And again, you can stop by here at any point during the day. The line usually goes out to the door. So what we recommend is ordering through Grubhub, since that shortens the wait time and you can just pick up your drink afterward. Again, what I used to do is I would order it like 5 minutes before class would end, and then I would just go hop over and pick it up. Again, I'm not advertising y'all to use your phones during class, but that's always like a nice little trick as well. Then moving forward to the north side of our library, this is going to be where all the traditional services that you would expect to find in a library are at. So for instance, we have our writing center in the far left corner, which you can go to for any additional assistance with papers or essays that you might have for your classes. You can also stop by our learning center if you need any additional like tutoring for general education courses. They usually provide all the tutoring for the basic math classes and basic history and science courses. If you want to do any tutoring for advanced courses, as Nathan mentioned earlier, you can stop by NSM and take advantage of their tutoring services. Also right here in the center, we have our research center, and that's going to be a place where you can get connected with the librarians on our campus, and they're available 24/7. So if you need any resources for your research papers, definitely take advantage of them because they're here to support you. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of computer lab space here. We have one side devoted to Macs, and then the other side's kind of devoted to PCs. So if you have a preference, of course, take advantage of that. And if you kind of look towards the wall, you'll see a couple of individual rooms, and those are actually going to be our study rooms. We have multiple of these study rooms on every single floor, and the other floors are unfortunately not pictured here, but I will discuss them briefly in just a moment. The last thing I want to touch base with y'all on is the Student Genius Center, which is going to be a really great resource for our students, even right now through the pandemic, because what they essentially provide is technology rentals for students and with any support that you might need technologically wise. So if you need any pocket Wi-Fi, if you need to rent a laptop, they can provide those services for you. And right now with the pandemic, since we are required to be on Zoom, if you are in need of any technology, the university can provide it to you. And it's as easy as stopping by campus to pick it up, or they can deliver it to you. So definitely take advantage of these services if you are in need of any of them. But kind of moving forward, though, to the other floors that are not pictured here, To kind of give you an idea of what they look like, I'm going to show you the exterior shot of the other floors. So as you can see, there's 4 other floors on this side of the library, and the second floor has our IT space. So if you need any additional help with like technology, you can stop by there for all your questions. We do also have lab spaces designated by major, so you can utilize all those computers based on your major, and has all the programs that you are going to need for your classes already downloaded onto those computers. So that's a really nice amenity that our second floor offers. Now, if you're really looking for a quiet floor, then you would want to stop by our third floor. So the third floor is the silent floor, and if you walk in there with any loud food or with the intention to talk, you will get stared at by other students because that space is for independent study. So if you want a silent floor, head to the third floor. And the fourth floor, you would think it'd probably be quiet too, but it's actually kind of a general floor where students do group work, group projects. It's still a little on the quieter side, but people can still talk comfortably in there. So realistically, the third floor is going to be your one go-to spot for complete silence. But yeah, that is our library, and we're going to head over to our Titan Walk. I'm going to pass it back over to Nathan.
Thank you, Alexis. All right, folks, so we're heading over now to Titan Walk here. Titan Walk essentially is just an extension of our quad area, like we mentioned earlier. We do have Discover Fest. Discover Fest does have over 350 plus clubs and organizations coming out to the table. So of course, we can't put them all in our quad area, so we do extend it here to Titan Walk. Throughout the semester too, even after Discover Fest, we do have different organizations there, or even Greek life fundraising for their specific community organizations and things like that. Also on Titan Walk, specifically on this side, we do actually have a farmers market every Tuesday where we can support different small local businesses as well. So that's it with Titan Walk. Moving forward to now Titan Shops. That is our on-campus bookstore here that we have on campus. So on the lower levels where we can buy all your CSUF apparel, we have like sweaters, windbreakers. We also do have school supplies. We do have beverages and snacks for a quick stop and go. Essentially, too, we also do have Titan Tech, so we do sell Apple products like iPads, MacBooks, AirPods and things like that. Even Hydro Flask. I know it's not really tech, but we do sell those there. Another thing too about Titan Shop is that actually the first Tuesday of every month we have Titan Tuesday, so you do get a discount off your purchase, whether it's in person or right now with virtual, we are getting promo codes via email. So that's really nice if you really want to save some money. On the very top floors are actually we have all of our books, being that this is a bookstore. So at the very top, we actually have all of our textbooks. Titan Shops has a really great program called the Lowest Price Match Guaranteed. So we do price match at places like Barnes & Noble, Chegg, and Amazon. Let them know what you find it cheaper, and they'll definitely give you that lower price. Essentially, too, you are able to either purchase or rent your textbooks through Titan Shops. They can also ship them out to you at home and things like that. So it's a great way for you to definitely find a lower cost for your books. I know books can be a little bit pricey depending on that. Another thing too, we do have a buyback program. So if you have a textbook and Titan Shop is low on the inventory of that book, they will definitely buy it back for you as well. So thing to look out for if you're in that kind of situation where you do have a book that you're trying to get rid of. So moving forward now to our Titan Student Union Center, I can definitely touch upon that. So with our TSU here, this is basically what we consider the open living room of campus. What do you do in the living room? You eat, you sleep, you hang out, you watch TV with your friends. You can definitely do all those things here in our TSU. So we're currently looking at the main floor. We have all this furniture space for students to definitely relax, take a nap, do homework and things like that. Essentially too, with all of our furniture, that does have outlets embedded into it. So you are able to still charge your devices. So that's really nice. On the very left-hand corner, we do have our ASI Information Services Desk. So we can get discount tickets to places like Knott's Berry Farm, San Diego Zoo, and Safari Park, Six Flags, and Universal Studios, Catalina Islands, just a few places to name. So definitely take advantage of our student discount, especially with things getting better in the pandemic. Things are starting to open up again. So if you are interested in that, definitely take advantage of that. In the very middle of the main floor, we actually do have a food court. So some of our dining options are going to be like Panda Express, Baja Fresh, Juice It Up, Biology, aside from our Carl's Jr. that we have on campus and our dining hall, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the tour. And then moving over to the very top floor is actually where we have all of our offices for ASI and Student Life and Leadership. So ASI is Associate Students Incorporated. They're kind of like ASB from a high school perspective, but now ASI here is our student government representing our students here at the university, as well as doing different fun events for us. So like I mentioned earlier, the farmers market that is put on by ASI. ASI also recently implemented in our fall semester a food pantry for our students facing any food insecurities. They were able to come twice a month to get free groceries. So really grateful for ASI for having this program for us. Another cool thing that ASI does, they put on a spring concert for us typically when we're in person. So we've had headliners like Kehlani, Tyga, Jay-Z, Living Fiasco, Metro Boomin, Cheat Codes, and then currently we're going to have a virtual spring concert this upcoming semester for spring, and we're going to have Lewis the Child headlining that. So it's a really fun event for students to definitely just hang out with your friends, whether it's in person, virtual, but they're still doing a lot of fun things for us as well. So moving down to the lower level, we can kind of see that we have a Starbucks on the left-hand side. So it's our second of 3 here on campus. But now heading down to the lower level, we're going to go to our specific Italian bowl and billiards. So what I mean by that is we do have pool tables here. We have gaming consoles like PlayStation and Xbox. We have an arcade here. We have a ping pong table, a call board. We also do have a Connect Four, and these are all for students to use, to hang out with your friends. Take a break from studying. They have a gap between their classes. They just got off work on campus or things like that. So really great way for you just to hang out, meet other people. Just kill some time too. Essentially, we also do have a bowling alley that's not pictured, but it is through this little doorway right here, so you can definitely go and bowl with your friends at really low cost, about like $5 to rent out bowling shoes and things like that. It's an 8-lane bowling alley as well. Another cool thing too is that our student organizations here as well, or our clubs, will either rent out the bowling alley for like socials and things like that. And then lastly, behind our bowling alley, again, not pictured, unfortunately, is going to be our tie-in pub. It's another place for students to just hang out, with their friends, study, get some homework done. Also, we do have live performances there in the previous semesters when we're in person. So if all folks have seen like Pitch Perfect, the movie, they have their own a cappella group. So do we. Ours is called the Fullertons. So the Fullertons have actually performed in our tie-in pub, but we've also had like other live performances in there as well. All right, folks, so we're going to head outside of the TSU now, transition to our next academic college, and I'll go ahead and pass this over to Alexis as well.
All right, so we are outside of the College of the Arts, and it's actually divided by visual and performing arts. So we're currently looking at the performing arts side. So I actually was a part of the College of the Arts my first 2 years here at Cal State Fullerton. I was a theater major, but we do have majors in theater, which you can emphasize in acting, musical theater, or just do the general BA in theater. We also have music as well, and then there's a bunch of emphases that you can choose within music. And then finally, there's dance. So these are going to be the 3 core majors that we offer within performing arts. And this space that you're looking at currently is the entrance to our grand foyer, which has the main entrance to all of our main stage theaters. So some of the most popular is our main concert hall, which is where we have all of our big concerts for music. And also we have smaller venues as well too for our music students, specifically our seniors who are doing their senior projects. So definitely it's a really great thing to come out and support our music students throughout the year. They do a really great holiday concert too every December. So that's something really great to check out if you're looking to watch something, even just as like, passing by in Fullerton. If you're in the local area, it's definitely a fun little event to check out. But as for our theater side, we do 4 productions per semester. That's a total of 8. And 3 of them are plays. And then the 4th one is always a musical. So some of the musicals we've done in the past, since we're very close to Disneyland and we love Disney, we've done Beauty and the Beast. We've also done Little Mermaid. And most recently, before the pandemic, we did do Heather's the Musical. So that's a really great musical that we got to do right before we went into virtual transitioning. But yeah, we do 4 productions every year. And even right now with the pandemic, we are doing some virtual pre-recorded productions as well. So our theater students can still be active in their classes and still have opportunities to perform as well too. Our biggest venue, though, is going to be our Little Theater, ironically, which is located on the other side of this building. And that's typically where we host our dance concerts and our musicals. So for our dance students, we have 2 dance concerts, one in the fall and one in the spring. But of course, there are many other opportunities for them to participate and also perform too. But on the other end of the spectrum, we're going to head over to visual arts, and it's this other side over here. It's divided up into 3 buildings. So as you can see, there's a green building to the far left, this red one in the center, and then this gray beige one right to the right. So visual arts is going to mainly focus on illustration, animation, photography, art and painting, drawing and painting. There's a whole bunch of different courses you can take. And what's good to note too is that these courses can be taken by any average student. Sometimes you will need permission to enter these courses. But for instance, if you want to take a photography class and learn how to develop your own photos, that's something that you can do within the college. And what's really great for the students that are a part of this college, there's an opportunity to go both in either 2 directions, either the BA direction or the BFA direction. And the big difference between those is a Bachelor of Arts is kind of focusing on the art as a holistic point of view. So you're learning kind of educational components and then also like the craft itself. So a BA kind of works well if you're trying to go into the education side of art. And then a BFA is if you want to focus mainly on the craft because you want to be a working artist in the craft. So that's really good. You get opportunities to go in either one of those directions and whatever you choose. So whether that be drawing and painting, animation, photography, etc., you can choose the path that you would like. And we do have a lot of students that do go on to work for a lot of big name companies such as Nickelodeon, DreamWorks, Disney. And most famously, we did have a student while going to Cal State Fullerton that submitted a castle drawing to Disney for a contest they were hosting back in early 2010s. And what we now have in hindsight is that castle drawing was going to the movie Frozen. So if y'all have seen Elsa building the castle during the Let It Go sequence, that castle was originally drawn by a student here at Cal State Fullerton. And that same student also got to work on Frozen 2 most recently. So that's a really great notable credit that we like to mention. But yeah, we have a really great visual arts and performing arts program. So if you have any interest in our College of the Arts, definitely check it out. But we're going to go ahead and head over to our SRC. And our SRC is going to be our student recreation center here on campus. So if you are looking to work out and you don't want to pay for a gym membership outside of campus, well, guess what? Your student fees already paid for this. So it's completely free for you to use. So all you need to do is download the SRC app on your phone, and then you can scan your QR code and then enter the SRC. On the first level, you'll find a weight room, and that weight room is going to have a whole bunch of barbell setups for either lower body workouts, upper body workouts. There's a whole bunch of different machinery too that you can use, and most of which were updated prior to us going fully virtual. So a lot of the machinery has not been touched in a good while. So when we do get back into person, that's going to be really great. You know, it's all this updated machinery that hasn't been used in a long time. Also, as you can see, we do have a rock climbing wall right here on our first level. If you have no idea how to climb a wall, you can always take a course for it. There are some services within the SRC that do require an additional fee. So for instance, if you want to take our Taekwondo classes, the rock climbing classes, dance classes, those do cost an additional fee, but we do offer a whole bunch of them throughout the year. Also, one of our most famous classes that a lot of students like to take is our F45 CrossFit training. And that's going to be a really intense program that outside of campus is a little more expensive, but here you only have to pay $15 per semester, and then you can go however you wish, depending on the days that they offer it during the week. And again, a lot of our spaces are offered open recreationally. So if you already know how to use them, then you don't have to pay a single cent. So for instance, our rock wall, when it's during open rec hours, if you're already familiar on how to climb it, then you're free to use it at your will and you do not have to pay to use it. Also, our gym on the first level does have basketball courts, and then they usually put nets in between to do like indoor soccer, badminton, and a whole bunch of other things. And if you do want to get involved with sports, but you don't want to be a part of our athletic teams, you can do intramural sports, which is basically our version of club sports here on campus, where you assemble your own team and then you compete against other students. There is a small fee attached to enter your team into intramurals, which is typically like $10 to $15. And again, we offer this in basketball, indoor soccer, outdoor soccer, volleyball, and a whole bunch of other sports too. But on our second level, we do have a whole bunch of designated cardio room spaces. We even have a couple of machines up there too for upper and lower body. And then we do have a whole bunch of treadmills and Stairmasters, a whole bunch of different stuff for you to use for cardio workouts. And we even have a cardio room space, and that space is used for our F45 training. And then it also has a lot of like cool, like monkey bars type cardio workouts that you can do up there too. And as I mentioned with dance classes, we do have 2 dance studios here too that you are free to rent out as a student. So that's something definitely cool to check out if you need to rehearse a dance for a class, or if you want to rent it out and play Just Dance with friends, or do whatever you want. We also have a spin room on our second level. So if you want to take a spin class, that's something that you can do as well. We do also have racquetball courts and an indoor track on the second floor. So it's amazing because you can run in an air-conditioned building instead of running outside in the warm weather, which is really great. We do also have locker rooms and showers and a pool out back. And the pool, typically, we have movie nights there. And every now and then we'll have a few competitive things where, like, if you like to be a competitive swimmer, we'll do like a fun little competition. But unfortunately, we don't offer swimming as an intramural sport. And we don't have it a part of our athletics as well, too. But moving forward, we're going to head to athletics. I'm going to pass it back over to Nathan.
Awesome, thank you, Alexis. All right, folks. So we're moving over now to our athletic team specifically. So we're actually an NCAA Division I school, in case folks didn't know. So that means we are playing against the best of the best in our league. So we do play against schools like Cal State Long Beach and UC Santa Barbara. So what we're looking at right in front of us is actually going to be our Titan Gym. So this is different from our SRC that we just talked about. With Titan Gym, we do have our basketball and volleyball games. So as Alexis mentioned earlier, we do have our Titan ID card station. So with your Titan ID card, you do get free admission to all of our home games, whether it's like basketball, volleyball, baseball, and softball, which we're actually going to head over to right now. So we also do have baseball and softball teams here. We have like tennis, soccer as well. So looking at our baseball field right now, we've actually taken many championships home with our athletic teams. Essentially, too, we've actually had a couple of our students, former alumni now, go into the MLB. One of our current and most famous alumni is actually Justin Turner, who's currently an LA Dodger. So they actually just won the World Series this past season. So pretty cool thing that we'd like to highlight. Essentially, too, with our athletic team games. So if you go to any of our home games, you do have the opportunity to get like free food, free beverages, or like free tie-in gear as well. That's like a lanyard, pop socket, or sticker, and things like that. So they're really fun. So I do highly encourage students to check them out if you have the opportunity and time to do so. So we're going to head and move forward now to our next academic college, folks, which is going to be our College of Health and Human Development here in the Kinesiology and Health Science building. So here in this academic college, we have majors like nursing, kinesiology, public health, human services, and child and adolescent studies as well. So moving forward, here in this building, we also do have a nursing simulation lab. So for our nursing students, you do get a real hands-on experience being in our nursing program. So with this lab, we do have human-like mannequins do pretty much everything we do. They eat, they sleep, they cry. You know, one even gives birth. Her name is Bertha that we refer her to. She does give birth several times throughout the day to a baby mannequin doing the exact same thing the other ones do as well. The nursing simulation lab is a really nice facility designed exactly pretty much like a hospital with the gurneys, the IV machines. So it does really give our nurse students a very good hands-on approach. Essentially, too, you do have opportunities within kinesiology to get internship programs, so they've been like our tie athletic teams or things like that as well. On the left hand side, you can't really see it from this angle shot, but we also do have another gym specifically for faculty, students, and staff within this academic college to use. And it's just because they are, studying kinesiology, study of the human body and movement, things like that. That's essentially where they put like their research or tests or everything they learn into like an in-person or like hands-on approach as well. Another cool thing within our kinesiology and health science building, we do have lots of student organizations. There's like the Public Health Student Association. We also do have what we call the flu fighters. Typically in the fall, we do have the flu fighters giving out flu shots in the Humanities squad. And I believe right now, some of them, as well as our nurse students, have actually volunteered to start giving out the COVID-19 vaccines throughout Orange County. So another cool thing for you to get involved in should you be in this academic college. But moving forward, we're going to talk about now our Student Wellness Center. So within our Student Wellness Center here, we do have lots of different services. So in terms of physical health, we're currently offering like COVID-19 testing. We do also have a chiropractor here. We do also have like a pharmacy should you move on campus or closer to campus and you have a current medication you're taking, transfer to this on-campus pharmacy. We also do have like an optometrist. We do also offer like X-ray services, whatever you can really think of. We also do offer vaccinations and things like that. You can look at the list on the website. This being said, all of the services here are pretty much little to no cost. Let's say you get a prescription is like pain medication. It can be as low as like $5. So it's another cool thing that we like to offer here to our students is that things are little to no cost here being as college students as well. Another thing that I like to highlight within Student Wellness is that we do also offer counseling and psychological services. So of course, we want to make sure our students are physically well, but also mentally taken care of as well. So we do offer on-campus therapists you can speak with, whether it's like one-on-one, you can make an appointment. We do have drop-in group therapy sessions as well. And then the last component about Student Wellness is Tight and Well, which focuses on your overall wellness here as a student as well. They do have lots of workshops on practicing self-care, practicing good sleep hygiene, make sure you're getting good amount of sleep. Also, nutrition. Nutrition is very important as well. So they do offer a really great program on how to eat healthy while being on a college student budget. Really low time meal. So it takes like about 10 minutes to cook something with a little to no cost as well. So another cool thing that I like to promote here within student wellness. Moving forward, we can now talk about housing. I can pass this over to Alexis just because I do know he currently lives there with our being a residential advisor on campus as well.
All right, awesome. So this is our housing area that you're looking at currently. So these buildings that are kind of surrounding this entire Piazza Center area is going to be our dorms, so our residence halls. So in a dorm, you can expect to live either in a single or a double or a triple. So essentially how that works is each student will have a roommate in their dorm. And it's really whether there's two options there. So they can have either one roommate or two roommates. So a triple would mean 3 students in one room, and then a double would just mean 2 students in one room. So it's up to the student how they would like to do that. There's also different price ranges for either one of those options. So that could also be a factor too. But living on campus does provide you with some really great resources, both academic and then also socially. Academically, they do provide you with a bunch of resources. They provide you with some extra tutoring service, free printing options too. Also, living on campus too, there's a lot of different programming that goes around academic stuff as well too, to make sure that students are well aware of the resources that are available to them on campus, and to kind of just ensure their student success throughout their next 3 years here on campus after their freshman year. But we do not require our freshmen to live on campus. It's all optional if they would like to do so. And our housing is offered on a first come, first served basis since it tends to fill up pretty quickly. But in a typical year, we do like to house a good number of students. Right now with COVID-19, that was kind of changed a little bit. So our residence halls are currently not being used. Right now, what we are utilizing are our on-campus apartments that are behind the residence halls. And we have both our singles and our double apartments. And those options are still available to students this upcoming academic year too. So if you do plan to live on campus, you can check out their virtual tours on their website so you can see what the interior of these apartments are. And we are currently in the process of building a new apartment building that's going to be suite style. That's going to be available in fall 2022. So if you're coming during that time, then not a building will be available then. But if you are coming next year, then of course it won't be available till a year later. And typically the apartments are for our upperclassmen as well. So typically our first-time freshmen live in the dorms, and then our sophomores, juniors, and seniors would live in the on-campus apartments. But something really good to note too is regardless of where you live, you can live in a themed community. And these themed communities can be based around your major, a specific identity group. So you can be on the, for instance, engineering floor, the communications floor, arts floor. We also have Rainbow House, which is the LGBTQ themed floor. And then there's also the Athena floor, which is an all women's floor. So if you want to live on a specific themed community, that's something that you can do too while living here on campus. And of course, there's a whole bunch of programming that's kind of geared towards that group as well too. So if it's based off of your major, as you can imagine, there's going to be a lot of great opportunities for you to learn more about like what you can do to get an internship from your major or network with other students who are a part of your major too. So that's always a really great opportunity as well. On the other end of the spectrum too, while living on campus, you will have access to the dining hall here called the Gastronome. And the Gastronome is kind of like an all-you-can-eat buffet style type of restaurant. So you enter in, you swipe your Titan card, and then you have access to everything. They have a salad bar, a dessert bar. They have soft serve, which is really good. They offer a whole bunch of different coffees, and they offer meals 3 times a day. So it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the breakfast is the most popular because of the cereal bar, the omelet bar, and that's all like BYO. So you can tell the chefs how exactly you want it, and then they'll make it for you right then and there, and then they'll serve it up to you. Right now with COVID-19 though, all these services are being offered grab and go style. So if you are planning to live on campus through the pandemic, it is offered grab and go. So you would just stop by during the times that are designated for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You pick up your meal and then head back to your apartment to eat it at home as well. But we do also have our late night cafe right directly next to our gastronome, which on a typical year, the late night cafe is open to our students. That way they can get some beverages, shakes, order some really greasy food that's available after hours, such as mozzarella sticks. That was my go-to every time I went to the late night cafe. But yeah, that's available after hours, after the gastronome has closed. If you're doing any late time studying, if you want to order any coffee or anything of that sort, that's available for you late night. We also have our community market located at the bottom of this building right over here in that corner. And the community market has a couple of groceries, detergent, and a whole bunch of other things that you can take advantage of. So every student who lives on campus will be given a declining balance based off of their meal plan. So you can utilize that declining balance either at the late night cafe or at the community market. And you can even use that declining balance on campus for like services such as the Titan Bowl and Billiards, which Nathan talked about earlier. And you can use it for the bowling alley, or you can use it for the arcade games even. So definitely take advantage of your declining balance while you are living on campus. But yeah, that's pretty much housing in a nutshell. If you have any more questions, definitely check out their website because there's more information on there. But we're going to move on to the College of Engineering and Computer Science. And this college is going to be home to majors such as computer engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, computer science, of course, and computer engineering. So specifically with computer engineering, I do want to mention that there is an MSBS program. So essentially what that means is you can do both your bachelor's and your master's simultaneously as a student, all in one go. So in 4 years, you will have both a bachelor's and a master's. It's the only college that offers a program like this. And as you can imagine, it's very rigorous. But if that's something that you're interested in doing, then definitely knock it out and apply for the program. And it's only offered in computer engineering right now. Aside from that, this college does have an earthquake simulator within the facility, within the building. So that's a really cool service that you can take advantage of. You no longer have to go to the Discovery Science Center in Santa Ana to experience an earthquake of 8.0 magnitude. You can just go onto campus and experience one here. Students do have the opportunity to join a bunch of different clubs and organizations based around their major. So there's clubs specific to electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. There's even clubs based around women in STEM. So if that's something that you're interested in, we do offer a whole bunch of orgs that are revolved around that. Also within this college too, there's a lot of opportunities for you to do field work and projects. So just last year in our virtual showcase, we did have students unveil like a prosthetic hand, a self-playing acoustic guitar. So there's a lot of opportunities for students to work on projects and, present these ideas to faculty and then also to companies too. There's a lot of different opportunities for internships too. Most students like to work with Google, Boeing, and a whole bunch of other companies that do come to the table for our students. But yeah, this is the College of Engineering and Computer Science. The one last thing I do want to mention is that we have a really great event that happens every November called our Pumpkin Launch. And this Pumpkin Launch is based around the idea where students build catapults out of practical materials. And then on our intramural fields on one specific day in November, they launch pumpkins off their catapults, and the one that gets shot the farthest is the winner of the day. And on top of that going on, we also have a bunch of little tents set up from the Discovery Science Center in Santa Ana. They come to table for us and do a whole bunch of activities for families and anybody who shows up to the event, since it's a public event for everyone to come to. And there's food trucks too and everything, and it's a really fun competitive event within the college. So if you do happen to be a student, a part of ECS, definitely take advantage of that. But moving on forward, I'm going to head over to the education classroom building. And this building is an extension of the College of Health and Human Development. So it's going to have all the offices for our nursing students. So if you need to get connected with any faculty a part of that college, they are going to be located here. Also, some additional courses that aren't going to be in the simulation lab will be hosted in this building. But this building will also have general education courses and just a whole bunch of other things. So it is kind of a miscellaneous building, but it's still connected to the College of Health and Human Development. Also, a really great resource to know is our Center for Careers in Teaching, which is located in this building. So if you do have any plans to become a future educator, just do know that you can't do it within your undergrad. It's something that you have to complete as an undergrad first. So whether you want to go into if you want to go into elementary school teaching, for instance, then like a liberal arts degree is recommended. If you want to go into single subject teaching, then you would major in the subject that you would like to teach. And then you can meet with this center to kind of figure out a pathway to the credential, whether or not you want to apply to the CSUF program, since we do have a really great education program, or other campuses as well too. So definitely get connected with our Center for Careers in Teaching if that's the pathway you would like to take. But we're going to go ahead and move on to humanities. I'm going to pass it back over to Nathan.
Awesome. Thank you, Alexis. All right, folks. So we're currently at our College of Humanities and Social Sciences. It's actually my academic college. So with the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, we actually have a whole bunch of different majors that we offer, as well as different minors, over 20. And then with the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, it's just known as the biggest academic college. So I won't name them all because we'll be here all day. But we do have majors like political science, criminal justice, psychology, sociology, history. We have some languages like English, Spanish, and French, to name a few. And we do have something like American Studies and Women and Gender Studies. So within our College of Humanities and Social Sciences, we do have lots of opportunities to either study abroad or even study away. So study away, for folks who don't know, is when you are staying within the country, just being in a different part of the country. So we do have a program called Cal State Sacramento that we're currently doing virtually for the spring semester. But typically when we're in person, Cal State Sacramento, you actually do go to Sacramento and live there for a whole semester. And you do have the opportunity to get an internship with, the state legislator, whether it's like the assembly or state senate and things like that, working with the governor's office or different things that you can look into that you're interested in. And then this is open for all majors, so don't feel like you need to be going into like public service or being like a political science major, things like that. This is open to all majors, so I do recommend taking advantage of it because you're not only getting internship experience but also credit towards your major. We also do have our second study away program called Cal State DC, which typically also occurs during the fall semester, but we're actually going to do it virtually for this upcoming summer. So with Cal State DC, very similar to Sacramento, but you will be living in DC for a whole semester. They do help you find housing in DC, and you do take a DC culture course along with your internship, and you do get to have an internship, whether with like Congress or even with like something you might be interested in. So if you're interested in being like a teacher, like Alexis just mentioned, you can actually get an internship working with the Department of Education. So something to look into. Again, this is open for all majors, so don't feel like you need to be like political science or you need to go into like law or politics or anything like that. Again, it's open to anyone. So I do recommend it's a really great experience. We have a really great program. Aside from that too, even within the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, we do have lots of opportunities for research within like psychology. You can definitely contact your professors to do research opportunities or even find different internships within your majors. We do have lots of like internship opportunities within like Orange County. And then of course, if you need help with like a resume or anything like that, we do also have our career center, which we're going to talk about a little bit next up in the tour. But this is it for College of Humanities and Social Sciences. So we're going to go ahead and move over now to Gordon Hall. And within Gordon Hall, we have lots of different resources here for students. So the very first one I want to talk about is going to be student business services. So with student business services, financial services, that really deals with everything that deals with any payment you have to the university. So you are able to actually pay for tuition online. But if you want to pay for it in person with a check, you're more than welcome to do so here. Essentially, too, let's say you had a prescription given to you from the wellness center, it's like $5. You'd pay for that here as well. Let's say you change your major for the second time now, which is fine. That's completely normal. Folks do that. You had to pay a $10 fee. So the first time it is free. So that's something just to consider too, that Student Financial Services does everything that would deal in terms of like payments to the university. And then on the left-hand side of Gordon Hall, we also do have like our office outreach permit. So typically, if this was in person, we'd be walking by the window, waving hi to whoever's in the office. But also, we do have the Office of Financial Aid. So financial aid really deals with everything in terms of FAFSA or the California Dream Act. So let's say you've been chosen to verify any documents, you can definitely submit them here to the office. Or let's say you have a little bit trouble understanding your financial aid package, your financial award for the academic year, you can definitely contact the department here, meet with them, and speak to someone. We also do have academic advising here for any student who's interested in meeting with like a GE advisor. You can meet with them like every semester, look at to what GE courses you can take to fulfill certain requirements and things like that. We also do have our disability support services center. So let's say you have whether it's invisible or visible disability, you can actually meet with them to get accommodation letters, whether it's like furniture accommodation letters, testing accommodations, things like that. You can even hire a note taker. You can even hire a test taker, but you have to give them the answers, so you're not, completely free from that. Essentially, too, within Gordon Hall, we do have our Women's and Adult Reentry Center as well as our Veterans Resource Center. So this is two spaces that you can come into, you meet other folks. You can definitely even have possibly have the opportunity to work in these departments. Assistantships or employment opportunities do exist within Gordon Hall and around the campus in general. Moving over now to the right-hand side, we do have admissions and records. So admissions really deals with everything that is in terms of like your CSU apply application, any high school transfer you need to send over, your ADT if you're applying as a transfer student and things like that. So admissions really everything that before you become an actual Cal State Fullerton student. Once you're admitted and you accept your offer, you would now be over to records. So records deals with everything, with your tie-in degree audit, your minor completion form, if you're changing your major, switching your major, things like that. That all deals with records. So now moving over to Langsdorff Hall. So with Langsdorff Hall, we did start at the back side of it on the fountain. So with Langsdorff Hall here, this is the front side now. We do have really two great resources in this building. The first one I want to touch upon is the Office of First Year Experience. So this is for all first year folks. You do have the opportunity to use the Lava Lounge, which is your open space to meet other first year students. You have a computer lab there as well, which will come with free printing. Essentially, too, if you are a commuter like me, we're predominantly a commuter school. So we do have microwaves within the Office of First Experience. If you bring a lunch from home and things like that, you can use them there. Or in the Tie-In Student Union Center, we do have microwaves there as well. So with Office of First Experience, just a great way for you to network, meet other people, other first years. Essentially, we do also have a peer mentorship program embedded with that department that you can sign up for if you want a mentor to help you transition from like high school to college, connect you with different resources on campus and just, create new study habits, being in college and things like that as well. And then moving over now to our career center. So the career center, super important, does help you, create resumes or cover letters or like revise the current ones you might have. They do mock interviews with you. They help you create like a LinkedIn profile to network. They do lots of internship expos, typically in person, whether it's like if you're going into STEM, teaching, or they even bring internship expos in person, like they bring employers and they kind of have like a mini career fair. Currently, we're still doing that virtually, essentially too with the career center. All the services that they do offer, you do have a year after you graduate to use them. So it's a really great thing to know for our students who still need help creating cover letters or want some additional support or just someone to revise it as well. So definitely look into the Career Center even after you graduate as well. You have a whole year to use that. But moving forward now, we're going to talk about our next academic college here. So here is going to be Stephen G. Mahalo Hall. It is home to the College of Business and Economics. So we do have majors like business administration, international business, and of course, economics. Within our business program, though, we do have lots of different concentrations you can choose from. We have like entertainment, tourism, we have accounting, finance, we do have management, hospitality. We have different things you can really look into. One of the great things about our business program, it is dually accredited. And we also are one of the top ranked business schools on the West Coast, so something to brag about. Within Stephen G. Mahalo Hall, we also do have another Starbucks here on campus. It's our third one here. The College of Business does have their own business program as well. So with business, essentially, they do have like their honors programs. What I'm trying to talk about specifically. So we have like university honors that we saw in the library earlier in this tour. We also do have business honors for our business students. So if you are a business student and you want to do honors, they have a separate program for you specifically. Essentially, too, they have their own career center for folks who are looking into like I mentioned, management or finance and accounting, things like that as well. And then the College of Business does have their own little form of student life and leadership. They have like over 30 clubs just of business, whether it's like a co-ed Greek fraternity based on like your major. There's like entertainment and tourism club. They have a little court as well where they're typically tabling there, or employers are there trying to look for interns and things like that as well. So definitely take advantage of all the resources that are offered within the College of Business. And now, folks, we'll go ahead and head over across the street to our last academic colleges here. So here we're currently at College Park, folks. So we do have two academic colleges. The first one I want to talk about is going to be the College of Education, which is specifically only for graduate students. So folks, after you get your bachelor's degree, if you want to come back to Cal State Fullerton, get your master's, whether it's in like public administration, political science, psychology, higher education, and things like that, or you're doing our credential programs, that would be you within College of Education. So just a reminder, it is for graduate students only. So transitioning over now to our College of Communications, that is for our undergrads. So College of Communications does have majors like communications, communication studies, communication sciences and disorders, as well as cinema and television arts. So within this too, we also do have concentrations like business, like journalism. We also have advertising, public relations, lots of different classes that you can take. Some of the business majors actually do require internship components. Let's say you want to get an internship. Well, you're a little bit motivated now because you need to get an internship to graduate if you're in a certain communication program. So you can of course meet with career specialists to help you looking for internships around the area, or like virtual internships right now, since we're still kind of easing out of the pandemic and things like that. So something to look into as well within college communications. We do have like our tie radio station, which Alexis is is an intern there for as well. Talked about that a little bit earlier in the tour when we were at the promenade. We do have our daily tie-in radio. Oh, wait, daily tie-in newspaper is what we have actually. We have tie-in radio. We also do have Test Magazine, tie-in TV as well. And these are other opportunities for students to get involved on campus. You want to be like an editor, like I mentioned, you want to have like your own TV, DJ show. If you want to be on like on tie-in TV, or working with like sound and crew and things like that. These are other ways for you to get involved. So do look into these opportunities on campus as well. Essentially, too, we do have a study abroad office here in College Park. However, the study abroad is suspended because of COVID-19, but we do have like different opportunities to study abroad in different countries. You can go to like Spain, you can go to Italy, you can go to France, fulfill any of your GE requirements, or even your major requirements as well. So definitely look into study abroad. Once things get better, we're easy more out of the pandemic. We have the green light to study abroad and things like that. But yeah, folks. So essentially, we're gonna go ahead and head home now. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this virtual tour today. This does conclude the end of it. So I'll go and pass it over to Alexis if he has any closing remarks as well.
Thank y'all for joining us for this virtual tour. Hope you take care and enjoy the rest of the day.
All right, awesome, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care.